welcome to the second episode of Obscure Hotline. We are using a little bit different gear, so we can talk about that first.
Oh, yeah, you're using the black version of what you used yesterday, only in Shure form instead of universal audio form.
Yep, and I honestly just did it so we'd remember to talk about what we talked about on the first episode. That was the first take of the first episode that we didn't get to do, so I'm using the Shure SM7b.
I don't know if you did this or not, but I like putting what mics are used in the show notes.
Oh, that's a good
and
idea.
It's a nice
I didn't put
it's a nice reference point to be like, I want to hear this weird mic in long form. Where can I do that at?
Good idea.
Yes, Obscure Hotline.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I will definitely do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shure SM7b in the neutral mode. I'm sure there will be some processing on it after the fact, but right now I don't have any, but it's going in. I used the same thing yesterday, Rodecaster Pro II. And I'm just using a little warm audio XLR cable.
Yeah.
No cloud lifter though, or anything. No mic activator.
Just not needed.
Nope.
You know, I had a company reach out to me and want to send me a portable phantom power supply.
Was it X5?
And it's X5.
Yeah.
They said I know I read it correctly, but they said they're sending that over and a cloud lifter. And
Same.
I'm like, what? Why are you what? How are you? Why are you? What is going on here? I was very confused.
I got the same message. So, and I confirmed
cloud
it with
lifter?
them. Well, and I guess that's the way that I looked at it is they were assuming we didn't have one, and they basically want, I think the idea of the portable phantom power is that you can plug in a mic activator, that portable phantom power, and then you can plug that straight into your phone, iPad, or whatever. Just, so
True.
I think that's what they're going for. But I don't know, dude. In that situation, though, you don't have really any gain control, really well, especially the iPhone, so it makes it kind of hard.
Yeah. For some reason, I feel like my phone is automatic gain control. I don't know how else to explain it. If it doesn't have an independent gain knob, I feel like my phone just adjusts.
Yep.
Somehow accordingly.
Yeah, when I use the iRig record, or it's the iRig recorder app, if it's a device that's recognized by the iPhone, it will pull up a gain knob, or gain control. But if it's just any signal just that you're sending in at random, it doesn't really give you that option. So I don't know how that would really work out super well in that case. I mean, I guess you could control it if you plugged it into the headphone jack on your computer.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird thing because X5 has reached out to me before and wanted to send me wireless XLR to XLR things, which I said sure. And then since I wouldn't buy it on Amazon myself, they bailed on me. And then they always come back around. They always come full circle. Okay, let's try it again in a month. But this time we'll send it directly. What changed?
We always find a way that I'll literally write something down and be I really want to talk to Bark about this. And we'll somehow just bring it up naturally. So, no, dude,
That's how it happens.
Yep. And it's funny though. I think it's because we deal with a lot of the same stuff.
We do.
That's the really frustrating thing is I've talked to X5 before and they've offered to send me wireless lav systems. And it was right in the middle of me doing a review for a different one. And I was I just don't want to deal with these anymore, So I'm I'm good.
Yeah, I've turned down a lot of lav systems.
Yeah.
I just don't like lav systems.
Well, the only reason
anyway,
I don't mind them is using them in a situation where I plug a different microphone into them and just use it as a wireless system rather than a wireless lav.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the only reason.
Yeah, that's fun. Because you can use a neodymium magnet. Anything with one of those, you could probably get pretty solid levels out of if you did a handheld to it or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, but the thing that I was talking, or that I kind of wrote down that I wanted to talk to you about was do you feel a lot of companies, there are definitely some that I've encountered that feel an entitlement when they send you something? They feel
oh yeah.
Oh dude.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh,
it's very, very frustrating.
Yes.
And before I go too deep into that, I do want to say I am glad you're using the SM7B. I'm really glad, actually, because using these as long-form microphone tests, I am using a Shure microphone as well.
Nice.
So it makes me Makes me kind of happy. I'll go through using a Teiyun Q12 again because that's just what is here. My Zoom AMS22 got there it is again.
It's always
it's just gonna be a theme of the show. We always it's hashtag show us your Teiyuns. But I hope to use the Zoom device after getting it today. It's at the house waiting on me. But I'm using a Shure SM78 today. I've not done this on Obscure mics yet. It is I just wanted to show it to you because I was excited. Sorry for the noise. But Dionne Warwick, I don't know, old Motown soul singer, had this specifically designed for her. It is basically an SM57, but with a ball top and shorter form.
Interesting.
Like my hand covers the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
It is little.
So it is. It's a cool mic, but it's, I'm interested to hear it side by side with the SM7B. That excites me. Excites me.
Yeah. No, for sure. I know. No planning whatsoever. We just made it happen. It's great.
Yeah. Green shirts, Shure mics, full hearts, can't lose.
It's so true, man.
Yeah. Should we make a pact right now to just not, should we never hate on another YouTuber? Should we just,
yeah, that's fair.
Because I mean, a lot of people will take it as us being assholes, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that because I can absolutely be an asshole. But only when somebody is very Trump-like, when somebody's very, look at me, look how great I am. And I tend to call that shit out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless there's other YouTubers that are just clearly stuck on themselves, like, their hands Velcroed to their penis, I'm going to try not to do that.
When people are upset and they have a little podcast that they go and rant on, like, shit's going to be said.
And, as much shit as we have to hear in comments, we should be able to dish some out when we need to.
Yes.
And that's kind of what this podcast is about. We're going to dish it out on companies, which I'll get back to. I'll finish my company thoughts, but we're going to dish it out a little bit. It's just, it just is what it is. It'll be fine. Everything will be okay.
I remember there was a live show, and I'm pretty sure you were on it with me, that we did on the audio hotline, and people went on it and they were like, hey, like, how do you feel about when people hate on other YouTube channels, like on YouTube? And I'm like, and I remember ours was like, if it's playful and it's like not seriously rude, then it's okay. And maybe we've crossed the line a little bit on that.
But yeah, it's just, you got to be able to take it, especially if you do what we do. You got to be able to take it a little bit. And I've had other channels call me out and say some shit. No big deal.
Yeah. No more YouTubers unless they cross the line, I guess.
Yeah, so don't cross the line, motherfuckers, because we will come for you on this podcast that 7 people will hear, okay?
And it's going to be bad.
Don't even try it. We're like Biff and you're like Marty McFly. We will pound you.
Yes.
Not like Post Malone pound.
Not pounding
like
sexually.
Biff on Marty crying.
Yeah. Yeah, let's jump over to what you were going to say about companies, though. Let's dish it out to the companies.
The first thing I'll say is I know a million YouTubers will understand this, and probably people that have their own publication of any kind, is just the misguiding. Like hey, we're from this company. We want you to try this. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, that looks cool. I am interested. You can send it to me at this address. Well, we're going to need you to purchase it here. We need a 5-star review, no matter if you like it or not.
Yeah.
Well, we need that 5-star review or we can't send it. And every time I'm like, piss off.
Yeah.
I refuse. I can't do it.
Yep.
Like, why, one thing, why go on your channel and do one thing, say it sucks, and then turn around and go on Amazon and tell all those people it's 5 stars.
It's great. Yeah.
That's not cool.
No. One thing that I do find that frustrating, like I'll definitely get a company that reaches out to me and they're like, hey, we'll send you this if you give it a good review. And I will always obviously decline that. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think what makes me even more mad is when someone's like, hey, we'll send you this product and just give us an honest review. Just give it, like whatever you say. And if I give it like a whatever grade, honest, like if I am like, hey, these honest are the flaws, cool. They'll like literally, some of them will reach out to me and be like, we wish you would have talked to us about this before posting this video and like told us the flaws about it before. And it's like, this was like, I didn't sign a contract that I need to do certain things or say certain things, you know, that it's ridiculous, dude. It really pisses me off when they do that.
Yeah. Like, are you gonna fix this thing before you pump it out
Right?
to thousands? Is
Yeah.
that what you were really?
I'm like, I've seen this on Amazon months ago. You know,
I will actually call out a company by name because it is just the most ridiculous thing of all time. And I truly don't care. I feel like people need to know. Sontronics had this issue with Sontronics
really.
a while ago where they sent the whatever their pod mic is. I can't remember what it's called. Rode is the pod mic.
Pod mic,
and maybe the Sontronics Podcast Pro.
The Podcast Pro.
Well, that thing's a piece of shit, for one.
Yeah.
It's just it's an aluminum, like an anodized aluminum weightless shell that's ugly as sin, for one. It's got a shitty capsule wrapped in some foam, stuffed in a metal shell. It sounds like you're in a box. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
And when I posted my video, and they asked for an honest review, they sent it to me and said honest review. They said the words honest review.
Yes.
Gave that an honest review, and the owner of the company's wife immediately, like I'm telling you, like half an hour after that video was posted, emailed me 17 paragraphs of hell-raising fury.
Dude.
Why didn't you talk to us about this before you did this? Why didn't you do that? This is our livelihood. And they were mad as hell. And I accidentally used processing on the video.
Oh.
So I made a statement, I re-recorded the video, and I did agree with them that I would state my facts a little less harshly, or my opinions a little less harshly, and leave it up to the people to decide if they liked it or not. But I still said, I still said in that video that I did not like the sound of the mic for me.
Yeah.
So I still stayed, stuck to my guns. I think I was a little harsh in the first one. I think I did say it sucked. I think I said the words, this sucks.
Yeah.
I was like, I can be a little less harsh, but I'm not giving you a 5-star review, you Amazon cheating bastard.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Yeah. No.
They were mad. Haven't heard from them since.
Yeah. And hey, I gotta say, there are 4 or 5-star reviews on B&H, so you're wrong, sir.
Whatever, man.
No, dude, I remember hearing that microphone and I was like, this is not good.
I just don't understand how you can run a mic company and think that is, I guess it's all objective, but I just don't, sometimes I don't get it.
And I can understand the part of like being an audio company and be like, hey, like since sound is, it's subjective and people are going to have different opinions. I think that's why it's like, okay though, that if you do send a product and someone's like, it's just not for me, it's not my favorite. Like, that's fine. Like, people still seeing that video, like, you're still getting your name out there. People can still hear it. Like, they can make that decision for themselves. Because honestly, I mean, a lot of the comments that I get, it's what I say is not the end all be all. People will either like it more than what I said or hate it more than I said. It's never like, I agree perfectly with you because that's what you said. It's not that simple.
No, it's not. And it's just things like that. Like, and you'll learn when you're first starting out, you take everything. I don't know if you did or not. I took everything. If a company messaged me and said, we've got this BM801 we want you to check out, I'd be like, okay, I'm just starting. I need as much, product that won't hurt my wallet as possible. So I get it. But yeah, at some point you just have to start turning shit down. And I think USB mics are on my list to start turning down. I just can't unless it's something that looks like it's going to be giving you something new. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I hate them so bad.
I'm basically, and I kind of have been for a while where, like I don't take a lot of USB microphones. I guess I don't take like a lot of microphones in general, but I will say like the USB microphones that I take, like you said, are microphones that I think could be kind of a game changer potentially if they like work out well. or from a company that I really like.
Deity.
Yes. And if it's a combination of those two things, even fucking better. Like Deity with the VO7U, I was like, this is great. Like, yeah, dude, I'm all down for that.
Which brings me to this, like when talking about the evolution of USB microphones, like some companies are already working on it, and that's dynamic USB mics, not just the Q2U. You know, it's the end address broadcast style, because let's face it, the podcasting and streaming and all that of the world, you want the thing pointing at your face, a la eggplant emoji. That's what you want. So whoever perfects the USB dynamic end address broadcast style looking mic, whoever perfects that's what I want. So if anyone is reaching out saying, will you check out our new dynamic broadcast podcast USB microphone? Yes, I will. Yeah. The condensers I'm done with. They're all small capsule. Even when they're large capsule, they sound funky. Yeah. But when Fifine did the K658, I was like, fuck yeah, send me that thing. Yeah. Like that looks, it looks a little goofy, but it also looks like something new. It's something a little different. Samsung Q9U, same thing, even though I didn't like that very much. There's the VO7U from Deity sounds good, and I think it's almost what needs to happen, but I have a problem with the knobs sticking out everywhere. Like I'm waiting for a company to not have what looks like warts growing out of the side of it. Yeah. I want smooth, sleek. I don't know if that means touch leveling, like the MV7. Yeah. But I don't want those knobs sticking out. That's a no-go for me. Like that's the one I want right now. Yes. But somebody is going to create that knobless, or maybe it's on the bottom of the mic. I don't know. When somebody gets it completely right, it's going to be exciting.
Okay, what I think would be sick, and this is just like, obviously I'm not in like a microphone engineer or anything. I don't know the ins and outs of what this would take or if it's super possible or anything. What I think would be really cool is like these knobs don't need to stick out this much, right? So like, right. And if you're listening to the the voice version of this podcast, like the VO7U knobs do stick out quite a ways. What I think you could potentially do,
they're like large nipples.
Yes, protruding nipples. And so what you could do is like honestly make it half that. But what I think would be sick is you sit there and you set your gain and then you push it in and then it's flush with the microphone. Doesn't change again.
I like that.
And then you do the same with the headphone.
I like that.
I think it'd be so sick, dude. Like that would be perfect. No accidental hits.
Only issue there, objects with springs in them are more prone to fuck up. Yeah. So I'm thinking that's a good idea. I'm also thinking like almost like the braille lined dials where you can turn it with your thumb, but it's still flush, but it's got just enough raises along it but that's not perfect either. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a touch adjustment or if it's a small knob on the bottom. I don't know, but sticking out of the sides like freaking Frankenstein's neck just is just a little goofy to me.
Well, and if we're being honest, like, look at these microphones next to each other right now. Like, this is the Shure SM7b and the Deity. It's almost like these knobs were meant to represent something. Yeah. It was almost like they were trying to make it look a little bit more like the SM7b.
And that makes sense. But it'd look a lot better if there was a yoke mount attached to them rather than just bolts coming out of the neck of the Deity. Yeah.
I don't mind what the fuck deucers did, the F deuce. I don't mind the 3 buttons with the hold. I think that's fine. Like you hold it to switch.
And those don't stick out. That completely overlooked that. That's actually, and they're very tactile. They're nice. They're nice squishy buttons. Yeah.
I don't mind the Shure MV7 way, like you were talking about. You kind of slide it and everything. The only thing I wish, like, that I think would be nice is if you go to adjust your microphone, sometimes you can accidentally hit stuff like that. I would just love a lock button. Put a freaking lock button on it, like you can lock a camera's settings. Then you just like, hey, I have everything set the way I want it. I'm gonna lock that shit every single time that I plug it in or I turn it on. It's there. That's great.
I like that idea. See, and that's this is why USB mics are just kind of a pain to me. When you've got that separate little box over here, out of reach, you can't accidentally mess with it. You got to reach over and turn stuff up. Like, some people may see that as inconvenience, but I actually see it as convenience.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Especially when it's a Teiyun.
Absolutely.
Q12 for life.
I think I'm just going to start exclusively using it.
I don't know. I don't know if I go that far. It really is a solid little device, but I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely a fun office device. I like the fact that I've decided to leave it in my office over the Zoom U22 because it's somehow better.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense to have a cheap little device at work, but now I've got to work on having some decent microphones here and not. I was not digging my XM8500 build on the last episode you published today. I was not feeling it. Maybe in the car it'll sound different, but on my computer speakers, not feeling it at all.
Yeah, there was something a little like harsh about it.
Harsh.
In like the mid to high end, like, and when I was like looking at it, so yeah, what we did the last episode, we've kind of gradually gotten better about the certain things that we're doing, and I've gotten better using the Rodecaster Pro II, but we basically were just on the same channel, so like any processing that happened to both, which isn't perfect. So I mean, like, if I would have been able to take your microphone and just adjust that little harsh frequency without, like really messing with the whole thing, I think it would have sounded better, but there was definitely a little something there.
Well, and then you factor in the fact that that UA1 was pretty smooth. Was actually quite pleasing to listen to.
I agree.
I was enjoying that a lot. So to hear, the XM8500 capsule in contrast to it, I was like, see, and I've never been part of the hashtag XM8500 gang like so many people are.
Yeah.
It's a fine microphone. It's a great mic for $20.
Exactly.
It's a very impressive microphone, but I would never use that primarily. I just wouldn't. It's just not good enough, in my opinion. It's not smooth enough. It's not clear enough. It's fine, especially for the price, but I think people get a little overhyped about that microphone.
I'm definitely more in the group that it's good for $20. I mean, like, if we're talking XM8500 going for even $50, and I'm like, I don't think it's great anymore. I think the SM78's a better deal, or even the ZDM1 from Zoom. I think that's a fine microphone for $50.
Yeah, and the Mackie EM89D is a better microphone in my opinion, and it's $49.
Yeah, so I mean, like, within the little world that it lives in, $20, it's good. It's hard to beat that.
I've got a friend that was trying out for a band, and he's like, I need a microphone. You're a microphone guy. Like, what do I take? What do I use? And I just handed him an XM8500. I was like, it's going to be perfectly fine for, live stage vocal stuff. I was like, put a Windy on it or whatever and have at it. And the band he performed for was highly impressed. Like, dude, where'd you get that mic? And cool. Yeah, sure. But for spoken word, I don't know.
For live vocalists and stuff, like, considering some vocalists can be a little harsh, like, that XM8500 does make sense. Like, it being a little bit darker can definitely help, but it does have some harsh frequencies in it too, and it can just depend on the voice.
Yeah.
But it's a solid microphone for the price. Absolutely.
It is. The crazy thing about handheld dynamics is there are a litany of ones out there you've never even heard of.
Oh, absolutely.
That sound pretty good.
Yes.
I've got a Carol EM3 or something like that that a viewer sent me, and it's really good. It's really, really good, and it's like a $40 mic. There's so many out there that you just wouldn't know that are good because you wouldn't try them unless they're big name. But, dude, even a Chinese company on AliExpress can hit with a cheap dynamic capsule. It happens.
Yeah.
I've got one I'm going to do a review on that's just, it would be in a $50 to $75 handheld mic if no one knew any better. And it's a $6 capsule.
Yeah.
Dynamics you just don't know what you're getting until you get it.
Definitely. Yep. the Zoom product that I just brought up, the ZDM one. It reminded me yesterday when you were having problems when we were trying to set up with the Zoom U12. And I was going to actually mention this story that, dude, someone's revving their engine like a total fucking asshole outside my house right now.
Come live in Ohio. You'll say that every 17 seconds of the day.
So one issue that I had, I was at like this event where we were recording these like judges. And essentially I had what I did, which was fucking stupid on my part, I guess. I thought it was great, but I brought the Zoom F6. I brought the Zoom H5 with the XLR adapter to make it 4 rather than 2. So Zoom H6 and Zoom H5. I had it all working, plugged in before, and previously when I had done this, I just recorded it to the SD card, but in this particular situation, we had software we needed it to line up with. So I was sitting there like trying to figure it out like you were yesterday, and no matter what driver I would put on that computer, they just wouldn't work with it. It was so frustrating, and it's like, I have plenty of experience with like installing drivers and everything for devices and making shit work. Like it was just bizarre how all of those would not work. It was so frustrating.
I am not a fan of old Zoom products. I feel like they're getting better, but the old ones are just not up to snuff as far as compatibility goes.
Yeah. The one that frustrated me the most was the F6 because I was like, this is like a newer product and like that one was the one that pissed me off the most, I would say. But
which one is expensive. The F6? Is that like the little 32-bit float?
Oh no, the F6 has like 6 XLRs on it. It's like a pretty big device. It is 32-bit float though.
It's the like field recorder box, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay,
yeah.
I know which one it is.
Yeah, dude, that was frustrating for me, but it made me less confident in my Zoom products, and it was the worst though because like all I brought were fucking Zoom products.
Yeah,
and it just fucked me. So I had to record externally until I could go. We were like recording at 2 locations. And I had like a Focusrite Scarlett, like that had like 6 inputs on it. I can't remember which one it is. I went and grabbed that like and recorded externally, and it was such a pain in the ass to like line up all the judges' stuff like after the fact to the SD card rather than in the software. It sucked, man, but whatever. I'm over it now, I guess.
I'm gonna play a game with myself because I'm like, how many recording devices does Bronson have? And I'm wondering, is that a Yamaha AG06 behind you?
It is.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was just curious because that's like, how many devices do we need?
No, honestly, like 1. You know, like you could get by with 1.
How many devices do we have?
Too many. Well, and that's the thing that goes into play. Like what we were talking about yesterday is I don't need to have too much, and that's something I was thinking about after we recorded. And I was like, you know what, like. And that's kind of what I always plan is I'm like, you know, when I get like a subscriber bump in something, I will just get rid of some of the gear that I have, you know, and give it out. So that's my next plan, you know, of when I hit 20K, I'll just like give out quite a few things, you know, but
that's a good idea.
You know, like, and that's kind of what I'll do is just like, you know, gather it up a little bit. And then once I get to that point, then I'll just be like, hey, here's, you know, these many devices, you know, but.
That's kind of what I'm waiting on because right now, like I sell, I get, you know, I buy, I review, I sell, I receive, I review, I sell because not making a lot of money off Google AdSense or Amazon sales. Like it's nice. It's a nice little bump, you know, and it's worth it because I would do it for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to get to a point to where I don't have to sell the gear. I can give the gear away. And that is absolutely the number one goal. Like I would do a giveaway every single week.
Absolutely.
If the channel, because I hate listing product and I hate shipping stuff and I hate the whole, but I have to right now because that's how I keep the channel going. So it would be awesome to make more money doing this, but you know, it is what it is. But for now, I have to move that stuff that way, which I'm starting to see some progress. I don't have This is probably the least amount of devices I've had in the past 2 years, I think, right now.
Nice. Yeah.
Like, I look around, I'm like, I don't have much left on the deck to review. And, I've only got like 7 audio interfaces instead of 17.
Yeah, dude, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel you. And I think that that's one way that I have looked at it is I am definitely more prone to keep the stuff that I was sent for free than not sell the stuff. Like, if I bought it, I'm way more likely to sell it. Like, I've noticed that. And the stuff that I like get for quote unquote free, because I sure as hell put a lot of work into videos and it's not free at all. I'm actually
Yes, you do.
probably getting paid $1 an hour, so like,
Yep.
like, yeah, considering that and everything, like, it's definitely not free, but I do notice that I am way more likely to keep that stuff.
I won't pull any punches. I sell it all.
Yeah.
I sell every single bit of it. Honestly, I don't have many go-tos. Like, I don't consistently do any creating that requires me to hone in on one microphone and one device. Like,
Gotcha.
we're audio channel guys, so I kind of want to. This is another testing ground for mics I haven't reviewed yet.
Yes.
But I don't know. If eventually a podcast took off, that would be, because I've had one that took off pretty well, but it is now defunct. And I tried to use the same mics on it, and I did for the most part, but I did switch a lot, upgrading 3 microphones constantly.
Yeah.
But if I ever had a podcast that just, was actually made some money, then I would probably I would hold a mic and stick with it.
Just for a consistent sound.
Yeah. Right. Consistent sound. You don't want to be different from one to the next. But this one, you and I apparently have the same idea. We've switched already on episode 2.
Yep.
And, we'll probably continue to do so if I had to guess.
Through these first 2 episodes, what I've felt like I've been testing more is just like the Rodecaster Pro II with different microphones. And that's kind of like what I've been wanting to see is just how it performs and everything. And I mean, with like the SD1 yesterday, dude, I thought it sounded fantastic. Like, it was great.
Smooth.
Yeah.
It was so smooth. Like, I was listening to it and I was like, I grabbed this thing that I used yesterday, the XM8500 freaking Frankenstein. I just wanted to throw it out the window after hearing that, because I was like, God, that UA1 sounds leaps and bounds better. Processing or not, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It was leaps and bounds better.
Yeah. Well, it actually, like, a part of me wonders whether we should not put processing on this podcast at all. Like, just...
I'm not going to lie. I don't process most of... I mean, I do... I use the levelator, because it's just an easy, cheap way to get things, leveled out, like the, voices, without even doing multi-track half the time. But I usually do multi-track and adjust and then level it out.
Yeah.
But I'm not big on processing unless I am streaming, I guess, or depends on where I'm at. Like, I have a Symmetrix vocal processor that I absolutely love. I would use it every time, but it's a channel strip, and it's up in my studio, and I have not been able to go up in the studio much. So I
Gotcha.
typically go unprocessed, and I usually get pretty solid results.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that is kind of part of it, though, is like when I'm talking about processing yesterday, I mean, all I did was essentially, I tried to take out a little bit of like a harsh frequency, like I was telling you, in like that mid-high range, just rolled off the bottom end a little bit, and then just like a limiter, from Fab Filter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's honestly
Which
just
is basically
pretty much
what I'm doing. I'm throwing a limiter on it.
Just trying to get it to level and, be a decent, volume for everything. But
yeah, and I do love a good de-esser. I mean, I like a de-esser, and I do like the big bottom feature on the Rode, because I do like that broadcast.
Yeah,
that
I get you.
How do you describe it? Just that almost, I hate to call it an echoey bottom, but you just get that bottom sound with that smooth top end. It just sounds so good to me.
Just like a little bit boomy, but like a good boom. Yeah.
A boom that's in the distance, like just an underlying boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just really accentuates the full range of whatever speakers you're using, even with just a voice.
So do you have anything like aside from the is it the AMS 22 or AM what is it again, the Zoom one that you're getting today?
I think it's AMS 22.
Is aside from that, is there any new gear that you got coming that you're excited about?
I don't see a lot coming out. I don't spend on the big stuff.
Yeah.
Like I just don't want to, and I can't, and it's just a thing. Again, unless it's groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, my channel is budget focused anyways. So no, I don't think so. I don't think I have anything. I've got a Shure. I don't know if you saw, I used a Shure M267 on a video. It's just a microphone mixer. It's vintage, had a VU meter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I do remember that.
So I did a video with a M267, and now I've got an M367 on the way. So I'm excited about that. It's not new and exciting gear, but I definitely get more excited about the vintage or the, obscure, like when that CAD interface, that $69 CAD interface was coming. I was pumped about that because, the price, $69. How good can this be? How can we pitch it? Teiyun Q12, when that came, excited. It's like, sweet, I'm going to make 7 cents every time one of these sells on Amazon. I am pumped. So pumped.
So plump.
But I mean, it's that. There's a lot of people out there that are more broke than we are, not saying we're broke, but there's a lot of people out there that really don't have hundreds of dollars to sink into
absolutely
a hobby they want to dive into. So
yeah,
anytime I can help someone find a Teiyun Q12 and a freaking $10 mic, like it's such a win. It feels so good.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of people really do appreciate like budget gear being tried out. I know that mattered to me when I was first starting out and everything, like that it was like a reasonable price, that it was like good for the price, but like I knew I wasn't getting the world with it. And I do love your channel for that reason. I mean, like I bought the Teiyun just so I could try it out to see if I would also recommend it, and like with the Zramo microphone that I kind of wanted to see, where were we at right now with $10 microphones, because it's been a while since I've tried, a $10 microphone. But yeah, so I do think that is fun to try out like truly budget gear and see what you can get from it. I mean, it's honestly
it's getting better all the time.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it's perfect, but it's getting better.
Yeah. And it can sometimes be more exciting for me to try that out than like a microphone that I know is going to be good that's expensive, or expensive-ish, you know what I mean? Like, but
or even worse, if it's expensive and it's not great.
It sucks. Yes.
What a bummer is that? Like, ugh. And one thing I will say, when you do call your channel Obscure Mics, companies that don't want to be obscure probably are not going to send you their microphones, and that is completely fine.
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
But and I did think that through before deciding on that name, because I was like, big companies probably don't want to be considered obscure, but that's okay, because Teiyun's not a big company. And that's where my heart lies. I'm not trying to blow your head up, but there is no better one person audio gear channel with the production value that you have.
Oh,
there's
thanks.
just not.
Thanks, dude.
And it's almost funny that we do this together and we get along so well, because
and we have different
our channels are, besides our personalities being like, we don't care if you like who we are or we're not, like us or not. We're going to be a little goofy. We're not going to be straight-laced professional down the middle.
Yeah.
We couldn't be farther apart on the spectrum as far as what we're doing. Like, you put a lot of time.
I guess that's very
Even
true.
people on my Discord have been like, I would despise editing one of Bronson's videos. And I'm like, so would I. So would I.
I just need to show you the back end of what that looks like, because it's bullshit, man. But honestly, I like that part of it, though. Like, if I didn't like editing, like, I would definitely have a channel that was way more cut and dry, but it's actually something I do like.
Obscure Mics.
Yeah. Which is great, dude.
I don't like any of it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think that necessarily what you do is bad or what I do is better, or what I do is bad and what you do is better. I think it's just fun to see the different ways that creators create.
It's different flavors.
And it's cool to me that someone can go and like your channel and like my channel, or vice, it's just, yeah.
Which is common. How many times have you witnessed or seen a comment regarding you and I in a statement as of the big three? I always hear the three, the big three, the three big one, the three big, and my channel's not even big, but it's always like, I've even seen the 3 Bs, Bronson, Andrew, Bark. And I'm like, why am I getting mentioned in that? Because I'm not shitting on myself. Seriously, I'm not shitting on myself, but it's like, it's the only people thinking that are the few hundred of those 4,000 people subscribe to my channel. And it's like, man, there's so many big channels you don't even know about until it's suggested.
Yeah.
Like some guy, I saw some guy with like 100 and some thousand reviewing a mic the other day, but I think the difference is those people review lots of different.
Yeah. Yeah.
They might do those, outboard gear and all kinds of stuff, but
yeah, I think the thing that will bother me sometimes is when like a person will, and we kind of talked about this in a live stream once, though, like it'll be a person that reviews like 2 microphones a year and then like reviews just like video equipment the rest of the year.
Yes.
To know what's new and what's good and what's comparable and everything, like you got to dedicate a lot of time to like audio to be like, hey, this is really good, but also this exists, like this exists and this is better. Like that person has honestly, in my opinion, no business really being like, aside from just being like, hey, here's how it sounds, you decide. That's fine.
Yeah.
But them being like, this is a great microphone, you should buy it, blah, 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 affiliate link down below. Like I always am just like kind of bugged by that person.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what makes our channels just a little more, hate to say special, but I enjoy the fact that you're honest. I'm honest. Bandrew's honest.
Yeah.
Dark Corner Studios is honest. There's some more. There's a few more out there, and then there's just a litany of cash grabs.
Oh, 1,000%.
Just an absolute litany of cash grabs.
Yep. Well, dude, that's the funny thing though. Like when you were saying, well, 2 comments real quick. I have gotten the 3, like the 3 Bs or whatever, like the Bark, Bandrew, Bronson, and like I am all for like self-deprecating humor and everything, and like
as am I.
But like genuinely, like I think the reason that you are in that is because like the true audio lovers and like the people that their lives are audio, or they take a great joy in trying different microphones out, or like or audio is a very big part of their life, like I think that you are a very important aspect of that because you do things that Bandrew and I don't. And I think that's why you are included on that. And Bandrew does stuff that I don't, and vice versa,
Yeah.
So, like I'm going to be a little bit sometimes more video focused with some microphones that I try. I don't see Bandrew doing that. He tries more audio interfaces than I do, and like it's just, and you try the more obscure world of that we don't always try. I'll sometimes dip my toe into that fucking water, but not that often,
Right.
So
it's almost like we've just got a nice little audio triangle thing going, not that I'm going to put myself in that category of.
No, but I'm saying you should though, because
Bandrew's channel's huge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not in that category either.
No. I think it's cool. I like what I'm doing. It's just, I am actually surprised no one has tried to piggyback off the idea to focus on used and discontinued and oddball stuff, and then just add a better video quality to it, because that would be fucking easy. So, I am quite shocked that it's still my arena for all these weird ones.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, and I mean, like when we're talking the 3 Bs, like to be completely honest, like we're not even in Bandrew's league, when it comes to fucking subscribers and everything. So, I mean, like it's honestly like super flattering to even be in the conversation, is like, is all I'll say.
And there's just tiers, there's tiers. Like he's not in the league of, say a Mr. Beast or a Dude Perfect, which my son loves. There's just different tiers of big YouTube channels, and like I'm stoked every time I hit a new 1,000 level. Just completely pumped. You know,
for sure.
doesn't matter. Just any new level is just like, man, this is cool.
Yeah,
like because there's some people out there that are trying really hard and never get past 150 or 200.
It's true, man.
Like I've seen so many. I've talked to so many kids locally because my wife works at the movie theater and she works with a lot of teens. And when they find out I have a channel and they hear I've got like 4,000 subs, they're like, what?
Yep.
I've been doing this for like 5 years and I'm still at 200 and some. It's like, I'm definitely appreciative of even being monetized at this point because it's oversaturated with people trying to create.
Oh,
so
1,000%. Well, I do think that, like, I don't know, it's so weird because it's so relative to like what you're talking about and what you're doing and how you make, you know, like, so I do think that like being in a niche where we do like audio stuff, it does help us to get to a certain level, but then it like, I guess is the word cripple. I think that maybe is that a bad word to say, but like it can also be hard for us to get much further than that because of our niche. So it's like, it helps us to a certain degree, and then it kind of is detrimental, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what the cap is for us.
Yeah.
See, I think, and see, I think that's where you enjoying editing is such a good thing because I really think the cap is, you know, what are you lacking? And I don't think what you put into video, there's nothing lacking. So I don't know when you'll stop growing. But for me, I don't think I could get to a certain tier until I up my game video wise, which isn't 100%. That's not 100% true. It's just a likely outcome.
Yeah.
That if I stick with my lazy video ways, I probably can only go so far, which I'm fine with. But I do at the same time wish that at some point something would kick in and I would like, because it's all about enjoying it. If you enjoy
absolutely. Yeah.
Longevity is inevitable.
Yeah.
But if you don't, like I'm trying not to, I don't want to kill myself and burn myself out on this because I still like microphones, still like recording, still like doing stuff like this that me and you are doing. But I despise putting in the effort to get the video quality, and I despise the editing. I despise cutscenes. I despise, you know, I just want to clip out the parts I don't want in there and be done. So I think I'll be limited by that, but I think I'll still be happily limited by that.
You know, one thing we did want this podcast to be a little bit about, and like that I talked about with you, is, you know, like being able to relate to other content creators, because I do think that a lot of people that watch us like are creating content, whether it's podcasts, YouTube videos, or like documentaries, whatever the fuck it is. You know, like I think that we, like a majority of our audience, we're kind of like the band's band. You know what I mean? Like bands listen to us. You know what I mean? It's like we're the content creator's content creator.
Yeah.
I'm curious, and the reason I asked this question is because I think some people might feel the same. But what is it that you don't like about video editing, like the process of it?
Time. It's just time.
Yeah.
It's mostly time. It like if I could not have a 9 to 5 and my 9 to 5 was making better videos and editing, that's fine. I'd have no problem putting the time into it. But being, you know, working 40 hours a week away from home, and then, you know, there's an extra 10 hours a week of drive time. So I'm gone for 50. And then I have, you know, small children and a wife who needs, you know, she needs an obscure thing put to her every once in a while. And, you know, that's, it's time is short, man. It's just, especially for a full ass grown adult that's also trying to have like friends outside of the home and doing, you know, other things, having a life basically. I just don't have time. I literally don't have time for the video editing. And with the quantity of videos I want to put out, I can't possibly do much more than what I'm doing now. So I'm just going to stick with it until something changes, until I, you know, a burning desire to do better videos arises or won't. And I don't love cameras. Like that's a big difference between you and I too. Like I can't get into them. Yeah. Just can't. I've always been like a what works for me kind of person. So if I can get a good video quality, when I'm up in my studio, I think my video quality is at least as good as Bandrew's. He's not doing anything special. like video wise, nothing at all. It's clear, it's nice, there's no necessarily flaws in it, which when I use my green screen, there's flaws. I'll move my head and you can see right through my forehead at times. It's just silly stuff,
Yeah.
But when I'm up in the studio, completely different. I can use my freaking Samsung S20 and get what I think is a really good quality video. It's just I'm not adding the extras. I'm not doing, I'm not going intricate with the titling or the words. Like I'm just, it's just basic. But
yeah, I get you.
I don't know if that'll change.
I mean, yeah, it definitely does come down to time. And it's the reason that I've noticed recently that there are some things that I'll compromise on a little bit more. And titles being one. Like I will put words in it, like in my video and everything, but I'm not really animating it as much as I used to, but also that's one thing that I, do want to say. Like I do feel like I want to put out more videos more consistently, and the only way that I can do that is by making my videos shorter. Because I went through a phase there where I was hitting like the 25 to 30 minute mark, no fucking problem, and so I can't, like, I need to be in that sweet spot of like 15 to 18 to be able to get a video out at the rate that I would like to,
That makes sense.
And I mean, that's hard for me though, because like I do kind of like to to put in potentially my own little flavor into a video. And I notice if I'm like, hey, if I'm very time conscious, those are the elements that go the fastest, and those are the elements that I enjoy the most. And that's hard.
You're a perfectionist. You're a perfectionist.
I am. Yep.
And listen, it really pays off, because like I'll tell anyone, like, best pound for pound, best quality videos in our niche that we like. I'm not blowing your head up. It's you. It's just, that's just what it is. And I'm really impressed with Dark Corner too. Aiden over at Dark Corner does a hell of a job with every aspect of his videos as well. I've come to really like that guy.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about him for a minute, but I really like that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so much, there's so much out there, and I've watched so much.
Yeah.
And like, I'm telling you, man, you're like at the freaking top tier. You're like the Aaron Rodgers of the audio community videos. You're, the Patrick Mahomes.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard balance, dude. Like everything is, like, especially
I'd imagine.
Like having friends and family and having a life and like, but still wanting to, and a job. It's like, yeah, for sure. But
it makes it even hard to just do a live stream here and there. Like,
oh yeah. Dude, this one was like a little less shit talky than the first one, I feel like.
Yeah, we're figuring our way. We're figuring our way through it. And this one was apparently we both really wanted to talk about audio today, because we didn't switch up the topics very much. But like, I figure it'll be episode to episode. We'll some episodes I bet we hardly talk audio.
Yeah.
Just as we find our way through this. But it's like, considering this is what we do and this is what people expect to hear from us, it makes sense that we're getting a lot of this out of our system, and then the future audio will trickle into the rest, I imagine, as news comes out, as product is released. And but I'll tell you one thing, we're going to try to wear the same fucking collar shirt every single
time.
Fuck yeah. Or just go skins.
Dude, right? Oh yeah, dude, I love it. Let's do it.
That'll be my next message when we do another one, like, shirts or skins today, Bron.
Dude, yeah, it's like rare that I even wear a shirt that does have a color.
Yeah, I have a lot of black shirts, almost all black shirts, but
so we probably will match a majority of the time.
Probably. I just need to get an Audio Hotline shirt and just roll with that. Just the same black Audio Hotline shirt every time.
You need to put out a shirt and I'll rep that shit for sure.
I have the designs all done, which is all pretty much your design, because you did my logo. Fun fact for anyone who doesn't know.
Yes.
But I'm not at the threshold of being able to sell them on the YouTube channel. So until that's possible, I just haven't sold them yet or even tried.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, I'm not going to sell much until I can put them on the YouTube channel anyways.
Yeah, even with them on mine, like, it doesn't sell that many. I'm assuming, like...
I don't think many people want to do that.
I feel like a lot of people, and I get it. Like, I would, yeah.
Well, I'm going to get the fuck out of here and go home.
Oh, yeah.
This is...
Go get it.
So maybe to episode 3, you might hear a little more debauchery, or you might hear more audio talk. We don't know.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
We'll figure it out.
This isn't planned.
Yeah, dude. Well, yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Peace out, folks.